after last week, and we were talking about fan service, I got really curious because there was a lost thing of you're talking about like what the fan service doing, like is the homage of a thing and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, but it's more of like a thing that's like it doesn't really fill in a plot or whatever. I completely forgot that fan service has a completely new meaning in the world of especially anime. Fan service is a material in a work of fiction or in a fictional series that is intentionally added to please the audience, often sexual in nature, such as nudity. The term originated in Japanese and the anime and manga fandom, but has been used in other languages and media. It's about servicing the fan, right? So I was looking at this like, oh, I completely forgot about that. So it's like the beach episodes and like, animes and stuff, It's like to do fan service to get the girls in the, teeny bitty bikinis. And then I realized that Wikipedia's cover page of it is Wikipeton, a personification of Wikipedia depicted in a swimsuit as an example of typical fan service. And this is the photo. And I think it's the funniest goddamn thing in the world that the cover for Wikipedia of fan service is someone's anime fan service of Wikipedia. It's like it's blowing my mind. I find it absolutely hilarious.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, right? The personification. She's got the puzzle in her hair and everything. It's like, it's so funny.
It's like the AT&T woman. A poor woman.
She's really funny, actually. I follow her on Instagram.
Wasn't she in that werewolf movie?
Yeah. Werewolves Within.
Yeah. She was really funny in
She's
that.
from College Humor and Dropout.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She was really funny in that. That was a cool movie.
Yeah.
It was a fun whodunit.
All right, well,
this is Tommy.
This is Jacob. Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
I thought that you were going to say to do.
Hey there, buddy. How you doing?
Doing so good.
Hi, you doing good?
Doing good.
You ready to go battle in the motorball circuit?
Motorball circuit.
Motorball.
Motorball. Hello, everyone. Welcome to TJ's Mixtape. TJ's Mixtape. TJ's Mixtape. I'm Tommy. That's Jacob. We're a movie review podcast. We're two friends. We like movies. We like to talk about them. Who's in them? Some themes of it. And at the end, we give it a rating. It is arbitrary, but puts a nice end to the episode.
Yeah.
At the end of each episode, we play a game. Connection game, where we connect stars via the titles that are in and their co-stars. And who was last week?
Last week, we were assigned to connect Robin Wright to Zendaya.
Yes.
And we had done Robin Wright, as you had mentioned and figured out, or you mentioned. I was like, I'm not sure. And wait, no, we did. Anywho, what's the one that you came up with, like, off the fly?
Off the fly, how I always do it, because I forget to play the game. So Robin Wright is in here with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is in Elvis with Austin Butler.
Okay.
Austin Butler is in Dune 2 with Zendaya.
Nice. I also begin with here. You can also say Forrest Gump, because you're connecting to Tom Hanks.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Robin Wright.
That's not really in my...
That's fair. Yeah. But Robin Wright in here with Tanks.
Tanks.
My brain is like, Robin Wright's in here. No.
With tanks. She's got tanks with her.
Tom Hanks, who's in Sleepless in Seattle, or You've Got Mail with Meg Ryan, who's in Kate and Leopold with Hugh Jackman. And Hugh Jackman is in The Greatest Showman with Zendaya.
Right. I forgot she was in that. I forgot about that. That's a good one. I did think, I saw Greatest Showman. I totally forgot she was in that. I don't really remember that movie.
I've never seen the movie.
It's cute.
That's fine.
That's Hugh Jackman. He's just fucking charming.
Yeah. And Zac
Efron is in it too.
We got very talented, charming people in it. Zendaya's 5'10".
I thought she was taller.
I thought she was shorter. Not much shorter.
I like you're looking directly in the...
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you up there.
You're taller than I thought. But so at the end of this episode, we use a website called Connect the Stars, and it will generate 2 other names. And if you think of another connection and you want to comment it, please do. It's fun just to kind of go through and think, oh yeah, they were in that movie together.
Yeah.
So we'll have a new one at the end of this.
Oh, actually, the quickest one I realized is Robin Wright's in Justice League with Jason Momoa, and Jason Momoa is in Dune with Zendaya.
Oh yeah, actually,
that is the quickest one. But us trying to avoid the MCU, DCEU bullshit, you know.
All right. Well, let's get into the movie that we're talking about today.
Oh my!
We are talking about 2019's Alita: Battle Angel. And off the bat, did you like it?
I did.
I loved it.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna like it.
I'm
surprised you never,
because it looks stupid.
You did really?
I thought it looked so stupid.
Really?
It did.
Huh.
And I was very pleasantly surprised. I was like halfway through it, and I was like, "This movie's fucking dope."
The action, there was so many times in like the fighting and action sequence, I was like, "This is fucking so cool."
Exactly. It was really that. I mean, granted, there's a lot of popcorn movie in here, but
it's such a popcorn movie.
But some of the fight, the fight scenes are just so fun, and they're so video game, and they're just so over the top. They're cool.
Was like, I'm sitting there watching this, and I was like, I want a cyberpunk Ghost of Tsushima style game.
It made me want to play Cyberpunk.
I've never played Cyberpunk, but I don't think it's not as interactive as that is.
No. But it's the world is cool to explore.
Fair, yeah. But like, could you like? I was sitting there, like the mechanics of Ghost of Tsushima in a fucking cyberpunk world, I think would be so cool.
Well, then that'd be very cool. But I also think that I just thought of in Cyberpunk, I think you would have a lot of fun. There's this kind of like bounty hunter side quest line you can do.
Yeah.
But it's called you're hunting down people with cyber psychosis.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's people who have gotten so many implants that they started to
get a psychosis.
Yeah, started going a little
bit of a cyber psychosis, maybe
off the deep end. But like, there's one where you get a call about just someone is murking people.
Yeah,
like murdering them, and so you show up and you're like, what? Okay, and there's just bodies everywhere, and you're like, what the hell is happening? And then you start taking damage, and you're like, what the hell? And then you realize that it's a guy with cyber psychosis that has a katana and is invisible.
Jesus.
And you're like, where the fuck is he? And it's like, it's really fun.
So fucking awesome.
It's so fun. So I think that you would dig Cyberpunk just to explore the world. But yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. For those that don't know, Alita, quick little synopsis that I also did on the fly. Just killing it today.
Do it.
A cyborg with amnesia learns to navigate a brave new world and learn about her past.
Yeah.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, it really is. It's a very, basic, generic story in a lot of senses. Some like gender role things inverted, but it's a fun world, and it's also, it is based on a manga called Battle Angel Alita, or Gun. It's Gunnm.
Oh,
I think I think translates. Hold on a second. If I can Ganmu. It's supposed to be Gun Dream. Get back here. Nope, wrong button. Open. There we go. And the guy who created it, this is like his claim to fame, biggest thing. Yukito Kishiro.
And it ran from 1990 to 1995.
Yeah.
That's what I was reading.
But this, this came out on Valentine's Day, 2019. Ooh. And it was a box office success.
I mean, it made a lot of money.
It was a flop in domestically, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's 34 domestically. It didn't do super. It made 400 million worldwide, so it was like a lot more of its money was made overseas. Yeah, a lot more. But really quick for 2019, how many movies did you have?
30.
44.
Nice.
Yeah. I think the pandemic, shut down. I was just watching shit.
2019, though, I was looking at the list. I was like, there's a lot of movies I meant to watch. I just never got around to it.
And that's when the shutdown happened for me.
Just doing a lot of Legos and shit.
Yeah. I think I was also going through a phase during that time, like right before shutdown, where I was just like every week I try to watch a new movie. Anywho. Anything else before that you wanted to bring up about Battle Angel Alita Battle Angel?
I did, but I forgot, so it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
Okay. Director.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yes. Who we have done before.
Long ago.
Episode number uno.
In the time before time.
That's a rough episode. It's like a 2 hour long.
We don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah. But The Faculty.
Yes.
The
Mariachi series. Well, El Mariachi series. So.
And we did also do him briefly with Four Rooms.
Mm-hmm.
From Dusk Till Dawn. Spy Kids. What?
El Mariachi, Desperado.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Is there not one in between?
No.
No, it's Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
Machete.
Machete Kills.
Yeah. Spy Kids.
Yeah, I said Spy.
Did you?
Yeah. Apparently there's a fourth one that came out in the last like 5 years or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of them actually.
Is there like more spinoffs? But he's only the direct, like he actually directed this fourth one.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just remember.
He's directed all of them.
Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah.
With Sylvester Stallone.
But he didn't direct Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
I don't know.
But they're in the same universe, right?
I think so.
Okay. I don't know. I've never watched this shit.
Baby Lautner.
Oh my God, that's right.
He's Shark Boy.
Whoa.
Oh, and I wrote down Sin City.
Oh yeah, I wrote that down too.
Because Sin City's amazing.
Robert Rodriguez, he's a prolific director of our time. He's up there on par with like Quentin Tarantino and people like that.
He's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, he's got his own vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also and then our writers, we have James Cameron.
Very surprising.
Well, he's like a head producer on this, and I think
once I saw that, I was like, makes sense.
Yeah. So he is like this is kind of like him and now I think Rodriguez, like big like he just James Cameron just wants it to happen. It was Del Toro who introduced it to him in like the early 2000s.
Well, that's just his move too. Yeah. Cameron's like, I want this to happen, and he's gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna go to the bottom of the ocean and see the Titanic.
Yeah,
and he did.
You will not stop me. It's very much his vibe.
Captain Flooded!
Yeah, exactly. That Ted Turner on a zipline. Is that what it's called? Zipline?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it's it.
And then we have credited as another screenplay writer is Leata Kalogridis, who I was looking through like the production and whatnot, and it's just like in the middle of it's like, and then screenplay writer did some stuff, and then they went on talking more about James Cameron finishing his product or whatever. So like,
he actually went to the future for this movie.
Really? But Leata, she's credited writer on Shutter Island, the creator and developer of the Birds of Prey.
I saw that.
Dude, I was like, whoa.
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon
was one of my favorite shows. And Night Watch.
I didn't see that. I don't think.
Night Watch is cool. Night Watch is a book series. I think it's like Russian or Polish. I can't remember. Sorry, I shouldn't have brought up where it was from. But it is a supernatural kind of detective series.
Oh, okay. I've heard.
There's the Night Watch and the Day Watch.
This up to before, yeah.
The Night Watch watches the evil creatures, and the Day Watch watches the good creatures, and it's like this balance of power system. And it's a very interesting book series, and I'm going to now buy it because I would like to read the first one again because it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But the movie is very odd and it's not great, but it's very fun. So if you ever see it and you've been interested, highly recommend it for if you're into like a supernatural.
Ethan Hawke, right? Ethan Hawke.
I don't remember who's in it. I'm actually curious now because I've also hasn't seen the movie in forever. So that's also like 16-year-old me suggesting that. So maybe it's not good anymore. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. I remember liking it.
Hey.
But I'm easy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Are you? Are you easy?
I'm easy.
Easy date. He'll get into bed real easy for you.
Oh no, there's also Night Watch, which is the Ewan McGregor one I've talked about, where he plays a security guard at a morgue.
Man,
There's a lot of Night Watches.
Okay, let's move on then.
Okay.
Who's starring in this movie?
There it is.
Slowly turns the page. Jesus.
So our lead, who plays Alita, is Rosa Salazar.
Yeah. Who she's in Bird Box. She's in Insurgent. She's in Maze Runner. I thought she was cast to play Batgirl at some point. I think. I didn't see that anywhere though. What's interesting is that she seems to be very popular, but I
have no idea who she is.
have no idea who she is.
Well, even Captain America: Brave New World. Didn't we just watch that?
Yeah, she's in an uncredited moment though. I think that. I think that might have been a part that was cut
Mm.
because I know there's this whole thing of like they had to do a bunch of reshoots for that, and one of my like favorite wrestlers in WWE, he took time off to film a scene and film a big like he had like a minor villain role in the movie, and it was completely cut out.
But yeah, she's in this. I don't know who she is.
She's Rosa Salazar.
She's Rosa Salazar.
But she's, seems to be good at what she's doing.
She was good in this.
It's kind of hard to tell with all of the
motion capture stuff.
Motion capture stuff. Like she did a really good job, but like there's a lot of work done with the motion capture.
Mm-hmm.
For her, so.
It's carrying a lot of the weight.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the big eyes. Mm-hmm. The big manga.
She actually doesn't really look that different to me.
I think they look completely different.
No, not to me.
And then we got next. I have Christopher Waltz next.
Yeah, Christopher Waltz, who I guess we've done. He was in Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, I overlooked that. Oh, that's right. He's Geppetto, isn't he?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I didn't remember the character because to me, I feel like that
he might be the circus runner.
Maybe.
But I mean, if you don't have it,
I don't have it ready.
Yeah. But he's got his like American audiences were introduced to him in Inglourious Bastards, and I think we said that during that episode.
Probably
because I feel like I'm having a flashback. And then he's Blofeld in the new Bond with Spectre and No Time to Die.
He's Count Vol. Oh, he's the Count.
Yeah. Okay.
The one trying. Okay,
yeah.
That's who he is. Yeah. Incredible. I mean, I think that Django and Inglourious Bastards are probably my favorite Tarantino movies.
That's fair. Yeah, those are great ones.
Those are solid.
Django, it's just so like its pacing. I feel like is really back and forth, so it's kind of hard to watch for me. But I love what it gets to.
But I'm also the big Western guy in the group, so I'm like, yeah, let's go, get him, fucking get him.
I mean, the end of it, yeah,
he gets him.
Like I said, where he gets to, it's like yeah. And then I guess kind of like let's just do a quick brush of everyone else. Jennifer Connelly, who
we've also done.
What do we do?
Dark City.
Okay, I didn't see that. I was like trying to find something with her.
That is her, right?
I don't know. Did you not look?
No, I just went off my
your memory. Oh,
Dark City. She's in.
I don't remember Dark City. I know. Well, I remember Kiefer Sutherland and the dude.
And the dude.
And the main dude. And some other dudes.
I think it's Rufus Swell.
Okay. Not what we're looking for right now.
Yes, Jennifer Connelly.
Okay. That wasn't the question asked. Then Mahershala Ali, who we did with... What?
You saw my Blade thing, right?
What?
When I told you, I was like, just every scene, I'm like, I see the whole...
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's like,
yeah. We did with Moonlight.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, it is really unfortunate that Blade is probably not going to happen.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, because he would have been
so good.
He would have been such a great Blade.
Just in this movie with the sunglasses and shit, I was like, oh, he would have been so good as Blade.
Yeah.
He'd be such a cool Blade.
And I have...
And I was really resistant against not having Wesley Snipes. And then I saw him in this and I was like, okay, all right, I see it.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be cool.
Edward Norton has a non-speaking role in this. We'll talk about that later.
And then the last person I thought was Keean Johnson.
Keean Johnson.
Nothing stood out to me.
He's in Euphoria for 6 episodes. Was in the show Jacksonville, which I think that's just people who watch that show probably know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I really quick also put Ed Skrein, who plays Zaplin, the hunter killer
cyborg guy.
Yeah, and also Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah.
Because
that was weird.
I was sitting there staring at that fucking face the entire movie, like, who the fuck is this dude? And why does his face look familiar? And it's like, oh, it's Freddy Krueger.
Grishka?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grishka.
It's Freddy Krueger, or it's Rorschach.
Yeah.
You know? A really dramatic movie that I kind of want to watch called Little Children. Look it up. No, right now we'll look it up
I'm
later.
gonna bookmark it.
Yeah. It's a melodrama.
Melodrama.
But yeah, it's got a crazy good cast, and I think we're ready for reviews.
Yeah, give us our
I
scores.
feel like we're rushing a little bit. I think we're kind of rushing so we can get to talking about the movie in a weird way. So relatively moderately high, 7.3 on IMDb, which I felt was very fitting.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Rotten Tomatoes had a 61% tomato, which I was a little surprised by, but also made sense. My feelings for this movie kind of like bounce back and forth, but a 91% popcorn meter rating. So I see what it is. I know what's happened. I can predict the future, everyone.
So over here on Metacritic, it has a 53.
Whoa!
I
was not expecting that.
A mixed or average, but it's pretty cut down the middle because it's 21 positive, 24 mixed, and 4 negative.
All right.
So what did I do for the at IndieWire, one of the tippy tops, I gave it 83 by Michael Nordine. Alita Battle Angel is Rodriguez's best film since he brought Frank Miller's graphic novel to the screen. A sci-fi epic that does something rare in an age of endless adaptations and reboots, lives up to its potential while leaving you wanting more.
Does something rare. Okay. I wonder what they mean by that. Also, I tried to find differences between this and the manga, and I couldn't. Well, I had a hard time finding it.
That's fair though too, because the manga is 9 volumes.
Yeah,
so.
and I also kind of didn't want to ruin what could be potential sequels. I kind of like this world, and I want to live in it in the cinematic world.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yeah, what else we got?
This one I thought was interesting because I kind of felt like it missed the point a little bit to me, and I'm curious what you thought of it.
All right.
So with a 60 by Matt Singer at Screen Crush, Alita barely considers any of the existential questions about humanity that are typically central to this kind of sci-fi film. It's just a slick action film. It's just a slick action film. This is one way, at least, it does feel like a Robert Rodriguez movie.
I do agree with that.
I don't, because of the fact of it barely considers any of the existential questions about humanity. That's not the point of it, because there is no existential question about humanity, because these cyborgs are, this is the world now.
But that's what they're saying, is generally a thing like this, like Blade Runner or even Johnny Mnemonic, they're making a commentary on that.
Yeah.
This isn't.
Yeah, but it's saying that it barely considers any of it. But I take that as it's to me, it's he's saying they're saying that that's missing from it, and it's because of that it's now lacking something.
Yes, that's what they're saying.
But then I'm saying that I think they're wrong.
I only agree partially in the sense of that, because I feel like when you have these cybernetic or cyborg things, like you can quickly lean into it. And it's inherently in there now just because of, Blade Runners and, all of these, different sci-fi, stories that use, cybernetics or robotics to talk about the human experience, Well, yeah, but that's why this to me is more interesting and stands out. That's why I also did like it too.
This is just the world, and cybernetics are just as common as getting a pair of shoes. It's like, it's just not.
Yeah. But I mean, there's still kind of like that discussion, like it's not like, we're trying to say this, but losing a limb and replacing it with a cybernetic, you're losing pieces of yourself. And then also with Alita, do we ever learn what her real name was actually?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Well, 99.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say it's probably the closest.
You do get this sense of like with Dr. Ito, how he's saying is like, you are whoever you want to be type thing. Like what you're wearing, what you are connected to doesn't make any difference. You choose who you want to be. So there is a bit of that message of that existential like personality of like who we are in it a little bit, because of Dr. Ito and what he's talking about, and his trying to protect Alita from becoming something, becoming a weapon again.
Well,
so it is in there, but it's not the focus.
Well, but that's the thing. But that's the thing. It's we'll just have to agree to disagree, because also in this situation, and what I like about it is there is the existential of who am I, not what am I.
Fair. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's the separation.
Yeah,
Because a lot of this stuff.
Who am I?
Yeah, not what. Not
Fair.
this existential of I don't belong here. It's more of, actually just who. And I liked that. I liked that separation because of what you're saying, because of Blade Runner and all that. It's very tried and kind of tedious and tiring now, because everything does do that. iRobot.
Yeah, I'm trying. What is the Tears and Rain quote? God damn it!
Like iRobot.
Yeah.
Is what am I? What's his name? Sonny. Sonny is very what am I?
Yeah.
And this, I liked the fact that it was just like, no, she's cool. We're skipping it. It's like what they did with Spider-Man and not doing the origin story. They just went, we're just gonna get into this.
Well,
and
it goes, because like in that sense, like it goes from what am I to then who am I, because you're like, well, what am I? Oh, I am a human, or I am a machine. But then I have this. Then who am I within regards to that?
Well, and it's because of the fact that they did that. Everything just became very human.
Yeah,
she became very human.
Well, yeah, even just like the fact that she's falling in love with this human, this flesh bag.
I kind of hated that shit, but
I mean,
I know. I just wanted to put it out there.
Man, you don't like forced. I don't know. Like it was a forced.
It wasn't forced. It was very, because it's very. This also has a lot of coming of age kind of DNA in it.
And then also, I felt like the whole they did the inverted gender role of like how they fall in love type thing. He's like more of the ingenue, and like she's trying to save him.
Well, it was very Fifth Element.
Yeah,
she's the powerhouse.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like this movie reminded me a lot of Ready Player One in aesthetic and vibe and everything, but it was so less neckbeardy. Just also because Alita was a fucking badass.
Yeah,
and she was wrecking shit, and she's this tiny little, granted she's 300 years old or whatever.
Yeah,
but she is perceived as this 15-year-old, 16-year-old.
Yeah, because he puts her onto the body of
that.
And then.
But but she's just going in and she's just wrecking fools. I was like, get it, girl. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Fuck them up. I thought that was really cool.
Well, that review spawned off some conversation there.
And then the negative one was at the bottom with 20. I didn't just pick the 25 by Johnny Olinsky at New York Post. By the end of this derivative, heartless mess, you conclude that a garbage dump is exactly where writer-producer James Cameron's new project belongs.
Man,
that one I thought was very wrong. Derivative, sure, I'll give you that.
Why derivative? Why would you give them a derivative?
I just feel like it's kind of derivative in moments. You're just kind of sitting there. It was very, very predictable, everything about it.
Yeah.
Like my show, I don't know if you saw him sitting by the couch. My show notes, you should look at them. I
ignored him.
You should. I fucking every question. I was like, yep, I got that right. Like the whole, the daughter being dead.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you're like.
Dead daughter.
Really shocking.
Yeah, no. It's this entire story is filled with tropes and cliches.
Yeah, but it was very fun.
Yeah,
it was very, very fun.
And I want a goddamn sequel.
That's actually my biggest issue right now. It's exactly what we were talking about with that Aragon and everything like that. It was like, I'm so pissed off that we very well might not get a sequel for this.
It's in production right now.
I don't believe it. And
no.
So was Blade. I don't believe it until it comes out. One is out, then I will believe it, because all this weird shit we've seen.
James Cameron and Rodriguez have both stepped forward saying that they have
that's wonderful.
It's in pre-production.
I know, but we have been doing this for 5 years now. We know that so many things can go wrong.
Yeah, it's true. It's yeah.
Until it's out, I'm not going to get my hopes up.
We got to think, like, this came out in 2019. It took James Cameron 15 years or so to get it made. And then after this,
so I'll be 50.
Robert Rodriguez, he had some other projects he had to do. He had to do Book of Boba Fett. He had to do some.
I got it. I'm just saying, until it comes, I'm not going to get my hopes up until
that's fair.
Until there's a trailer. Once there's a trailer out for it,
then a legit poster.
Oh yeah, then sure. But I'm just like.
Yeah.
Because this movie just set up such a really interesting world.
I know! It's so cool.
It's so cool because, and also kind of had this DNA, this reminded me kind of Arcane. Mm-hmm. Because it had this
history.
It had a lot of this history and just the aesthetics. It did have kind of this high fantasy, like her first body with the engraved resin or whatever it was made out of, you know? and it had this almost kind of like regal design on it. You're just like, it just, everything just looks cool. And it's all really over the top, but it works. Like even Zarzapan. What's his name?
Zaplin? Zaron?
Zerg.
Zerg.
Actually, I gotta. What is his name?
Zordon.
What's the actor's? Oh, Zapan.
Zapan.
Okay. Zordon. Even like Zapan too. You know, Zapan comes and he has like the little mohawk and like the metal goatee, and then on his back he has this very intricate like Aztec calendar design thing, and you're like, this is so much. But I live for it.
Yeah, right.
You know, you're like, but it works.
And she's calling him out like how he only focuses on and working on his face.
Yeah, and that totally that's what they wear it very much on the sleeve of they acknowledge it, and then the ending with him where then she fucks up his face. You're just like, it was the perfect part of 3. It's like we meet him, it's kind of ridiculous, and then she acknowledges it, and then she messes it up, and you're like, perfect. That's a perfect little story arc.
Yeah.
Of this bad guy, you know,
which now he's gonna have a fucked up face, and now he wants revenge on her.
Yeah, and it just opens it up to a lot. And that was the other thing too, is that this movie was cool in a lot of ways visually because it was actually really violent, but because it was robots, they could get away with a lot of stuff.
Dude, when she gets chopped into pieces,
yeah, the blood, and there's this amazing slow motion scene. You're like, oh no, yeah, this movie was very cool.
I really liked they kind of really, because most of the time when you have those really big characters, they're a quick folly, you know, quick like they fall the first one of the easiest ones.
Yeah, they're like Bane. The first in a Batman game, your first Bane or Crocodile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Usually.
And so when we first get introduced to like the actual like our conflict villains, and are we finding out that Alita is a badass, a battle angel.
Yeah.
And you get introduced to Grishka, and it was one of the few times I was like, man, this guy's just gonna get wrecked. And we're so fast. And then he continued to like, oh, he's an actual like ongoing like conflict, which I really appreciated.
Yeah. Like he just wasn't one and done. He kept showing up. Well, that was even the thing too, is that and everyone's design, I always get really questionable about big guys like that. In like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Hyde looked really goofy.
Yep.
I didn't like Hulk's introduction at first. I don't like it when you make him really...
Which Hulk?
Mark.
Okay, Avengers
Hulk, yeah. Like, and I've probably said that on here a couple times.
Yeah.
I love that Edward Norton one. Funny enough.
I wasn't sure if you were also going back to the Eric Bana one, so...
No, I don't really talk about that one. I have to watch that again. I don't really remember it enough to have an opinion. But it's like, you know, the Edward Norton one I liked because he moved so human. He was very controlled. And, you know, when you make him just basically, I don't know, it feels like kind of a cop out to make him monkey-y, like gorilla. You know, that's just easy to do.
I think, you know, I actually just kind of made a weird connection to that. Is there's that difference between there's Hulk that is a little bit more, has that like ape-like, and then when he starts moving more human-like is when he is supposed
more
to be
Banner.
Banner or Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just Smart Hulk, but like Hulk in Ragnarok.
Yeah. When Hulk starts to get sentience again, he's not just a rage machine, which I got. I get that. But that just didn't make sense too, because it's like, well, that was the whole point, is that in the Norton one, he was getting to that point.
Yeah.
And then they jump back to Avengers, which is supposed to be the same.
I wonder if that's because he spent so much time not
as Hulk.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're reeling back in. But it's like when you meet Grishka and he's in this big robe and everything, I was like, oh shit, we got like a big fucking dude guy. Like, how's that gonna go? And then I went, oh, very well. It went very well.
Yeah.
And then they keep like upgrading him.
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah.
The upgrade thing.
They're just like, I felt like the entire story and how like every character's like paths crossed and how they like all fit into this like main big story of going into Nova. And what is it called? Salem?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I felt it's all really simple and very cliche and tropey for a lot of this stuff. Like it's like any fantasy novel you read, it's kind of like fill in these like
fill in this noun.
Yeah. Fill in this character and boom, you know, you have,
and especially with Cameron, I don't want to be a dick, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
it is Cameron.
Yeah.
Like,
but it was just it felt fresh because it's in this cyberpunk world, cyberkinetic world, you know. and it was well executed.
Well, you can do tropes. You can.
Yeah.
The problem with tropes is when you do them either insensitively or just stupidly.
When it's like when Vector shows up and they're scrapping the guy for his arms and whatnot, and it's revealed that it's the cat that Hugh, is that his name?
Yeah. Hugo. Yeah.
Hugo. It's like in the background. It's like, are we supposed to be shocked that this is Hugo?
Well, yeah.
right now?
That's another one I wrote
Yeah.
down. I was like, oh, Hugo. Like immediately it was like, oh, and that's what.
When immediately it was like, oh, we got something to do when we cut next to someone getting fucking chopped for parts. I'm like, gee, I wonder who this is. Yeah.
Weird. He has 4 friends and there's 4 of them. You know, like emo Power Rangers over here.
Actually, they reminded me of the characters at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2 when you play as Roxas, and I don't know. That's a different thing. Anyway, but that's where my brain went.
But it's like that's the thing. That was like, yes, that's I don't really want to harp on it, but this does just gave me so many Ready Player One vibes. But the fact about the Ready Player One, it was like this huge circle jerk of look at all the things I made, and it's still Ready Player One is a fun movie. It's a very visually fun.
It's kind of hard to rewatch, actually.
Is it?
Yeah,
I watched for you. Like I get put it on the background.
I mean, yeah, it's fun background, but like to actually like
sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I'm just like I kind of cringe, you know.
Really?
Yeah,
we liked it.
Like yeah, I enjoyed the first time. You know.
But anyways, what I was saying is just that, you know, that's a fun movie. Very visually, it's cool. There's a lot of cool set pieces, you know, like the race scene. And this is like that, but it just doesn't have that circle jerk thing. It kind of is like honestly tropey. Mm-hmm. It's just like, yeah, it's a love story. It's about love story about robots and stuff.
Jesus.
You know, so whatever. I mean, I did like that the creator loved the movie.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. He thought it was so cool. I was like,
he's like, it's all coming to life.
Yeah, and it was like he felt like they really captured what
cool.
he was, the original story he was trying to tell.
And I know like he himself was super highly inspired by Blade Runner and iRobot, you know. Like he loves those like cyberpunk worlds. So yeah, and I think that kind of goes back that other person's like that second review of it not having the existentialism is he is this writer, this creator kind of, I feel like he created a world where it's like, yeah, this isn't a thing. It's like everyone, anything that exists.
There is no existentialism in this world about it because it is such a part of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that with going to the tropey thing, if they had have done that, this movie
would have got a little more tropey. Yeah,
and it would have just been not interesting. Mm-hmm. But the fact that we're just like, it just becomes she's a teenage girl that happens also to fuck people up. Like, but at the end of the day, she's just.
I thought you were gonna say it happens to fuck boys.
No, and she just happens to have this.
Some
ability.
Some of the dialogue in this is not very good, but there is one moment that's kind of like it's spoon feeding a moment, but it makes sense. Is Hugo's friend like there's the girl that's like, why don't you like her? And he's like, I never got the whole hard body thing, you know. It's like talking about like falling in love or falling for someone that has a cyberkinetic body type thing, you know, like a little bit of like, you know, lore of the world and like some, you know, lingo that they use, but it was just kind of like an unneeded moment, but it's just like also, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah,
well, because it's like it was unneeded, but it also makes us as the audience go that this isn't an uncommon thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like some Romeo and Juliet, like they're not supposed to, because you also could have done that.
It's not taboo.
Yeah,
at all.
You could have made it that humans and cyber, and that adds an element that's not needed.
Ew, you like a cyberneck girl?
Yeah, it's like.
You and that hard body going to the church,
and that right there, making it like that it is good for, it is spoon feeding, but it is good for the building of the lore.
Yeah,
because it is a commonplace thing, but it still has its prejudices. Yeah, with people that don't personally understand it.
Well, and it's just like, especially them living in like, so there's these levels of society and whatnot. There's Salem where the fucking rich people live, and there's obviously
a trope of
class divide, you know,
for those above and those below.
Yeah, exactly.
Very arcane.
And all of the ones, yeah, exactly. The ones below, like almost everyone has some type of cyberkinetic like limb of some sort.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like that's just the world they live in because someone stole chopped off their arm and sold it on the black market or some shit, you know. And I want to see more of that world. That lore, it's kind of like very just like brushed upon in this, and we just get Dr. Ido, who is like just taking care of the poor people pretty much, and then also what do they call them? The hunter killers, hunter warrior. Yeah,
I rolled my eyes so hard they almost popped out of my skull. It is the hunter, but also I was like, what would have been better?
We just call them hunters.
So yeah, like maybe just what's no need for the hyphen.
Yeah,
like I don't know. They're hunter warriors because they hunt.
And they're warriors.
You're like, okay.
They're bounty hunters. Call them bounty hunters.
Like I don't know why we need a special term for them. That's actually, they're bounty hunters. Like let's just call them a bounty hunter. They don't need a special term. Like I don't know. That did make I didn't like that.
But that's it's also.
I think
that's Yukito, like trying to create his own world type thing.
Well, yeah, and I think that maybe it was also with the adaptation. Didn't translate
or it
well.
could just could be a bad translation. Yeah,
doesn't
Yeah. I do got to say Christopher Waltz's performance was kind of lackluster.
Well, because they didn't give him anything to do.
Yeah, he was a very one note character.
Yeah, he was grieving
the troubled father,
replacing with a surrogate thing.
What was a hunter warrior?
Yeah, I hated his hammer.
It reminded me of Resident Evil 8.
Oh, I could see that.
And I forget the character's name, but yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well, but that's even the thing though too. Everybody was kind of one note, and it was only weird because it's like you had some talent in here.
Yeah,
Jennifer Connelly, who's like, I don't know what your opinion is about her, but she's a successful actress and she's been in a lot of good things. You have him, you have Waltz.
Yeah,
the only one they really gave the time of day was Rosa. Mm-hmm. And what's his name? Fucking Warshak. He was more interesting.
Oh, Gruishka?
Yeah. Because even then, like, with Vector, is that his name? Vector. Even Vector, like him.
He was a puppet, more or less, than anything.
And he just didn't. His best bad guy moments weren't even him. It was Edward Norton, who also didn't have any talking. So they had all these names. Yeah. And that's why it's so annoying because they had this buildup of like these people. And you're like, what are you doing with them? There's like so many people in this. Because even then, and then they kill Vector, and I'm like, he was cool, like, but he didn't get to do anything.
Also, was that Jennifer Connelly's brain? And
yes,
everything? Yeah.
That's what I was talking about, the violence thing.
Yeah,
it's like you can do some really gruesome, weird shit in this, but it's okay because you're not really showing blood and guts. But you're doing some really horror. She was alive.
Yeah, still living. There's just a brain and eyeballs, pretty much.
And her hands. It was so fun. It's like it was incredible too for me and my really twisted personality and sense of humor. It was just so like moving on. Like it was like, wait, we're not gonna stick with this for a second. We're just gonna kind of go. That's the world we live in. We're like this. Okay, like put her back in the box.
Close the door.
What the fuck was that? I thought that was hilarious.
Hey, you want to see something real fucked up?
Yeah. You want to see a magic trick?
Lead with that shit.
Fuck. Yeah. Like, can we sit on that can we just chew on that for a little bit longer? But I thought that was just so wild, just to be like, all right, moving on. Like, that was crazy.
How did you feel about the constant the mocap, essentially, like the constant CG with our Alita?
I thought it was great. Only in the sense of because it's like, I think I've said this to you, I know off mic, and I'm sure I said it on here. They leaned into it enough. There was so much of it happening that your brain immediately, like your brain really clicks.
You just kind of gave into it for it.
Yeah, it's only weird when they do that mixture of stuff, but it's like, no, a lot of our characters are going to be not body dysmorphic, body alternative. We're going to have a lot of different types of bodies in this. We're going to have the big guy. We're going to have the guy with the guy that playing the guitar with the like 6 arms. That was cool. We're going to have all this kind of stuff. So just let's really lean into the motion capture. Yeah. And then your brain just goes, okay. It's when you start flipping back and forth that you're not.
And I think it was like there was they kept it all in real world with mocap and blue screen, just like very subtly. So then it was easy to just be like, this is the thing we need to, focus on in the post, like in the edit and whatnot, And one thing that I think you can agree on this, from the amount of video games we've played, they nailed her mouth and her teeth.
Yes.
And that's like one of the hardest things. And like animators talk about this, about how like open mouths and teeth and like tongues are some of the hardest things to really just like to capture in like animation.
Well, it's because it's like with Alita too, and I think Alita because her face is so human in a lot of ways, you accept her, as a character really quickly. So there isn't this kind of moment of like in that with the she just you just find yourself going. You don't find yourself thinking about the motion capture when you're watching it. I'm sure someone does that maybe has more schooling in it and more training to it might be able to see things that we don't.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was still a couple of moments that it kind of takes me out. It kind of felt like her eyes changed sizes a couple of times.
I didn't catch that, but
not like it's a stoop, like not like when I went, it was like I was like something looks a little bit different from this close up to this like far away shot. And I'm also really interested. Like I found it. And I don't know if it was because of CG, but she almost looked like prosthetic-y in general. But she was the only one that looked that way, and I accepted that as well.
We could write right now a reason why.
Because she's a Martian.
Yeah, she is a prosthetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's why she wasn't made on Earth, so she's
exactly.
made out of it's just fun to do that. Be like, there you go.
I mean, I mean, we could if we were to read this through the manga, I'm pretty sure we'd figure out. But
yeah,
but that's also it's like it's from her history. That's another thing is like that's so. This movie already has like such a rich history. I mean, they're obviously going through a manga that's a completed series, but you feel a like complete world in this movie that everyone is comfortable living in, and it allows you as the audience to just kind of go on that journey with them without worrying about like inconsistency or like, well, why that doesn't make sense, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. And at any time that there might be a moment where you're falling into noticing inconsistencies or writing issues or whatever, don't worry. We come up right off the tail. We got a great action sequence that's going to totally distract you from anything you were just thinking about.
When she takes on all the Centurions, when she finally gets her body.
Or like the bar fight scene.
The bar fight scene was awesome.
Awesome.
Dude, also, poor puppy.
I know.
When
that was coming to him.
When that puppy reappeared, I was like, my first thought was like, oh, I think this puppy probably has an implant in its head and it's being used to track her. Like Nova's using this as like a secret hidden device thing.
And then they killed it.
And then the puppy stands up to Grishka and he gets murdered. I was like, what the fuck just happened? What? How are you using a puppy dog to... What?
I'm trying to remember now.
They don't show it on camera, just those who are listening. You just off-camera puppy kill. It's sad.
I'm trying to find the other
and the bounty hunter that has all the dogs, like he took that personally.
Yeah. That was cool. Who was that? That was someone.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh, I don't know. Do you have much more to say? I feel like we're kind of wrapping up on this thing pretty quickly.
No, I mean, not really. I'm trying to remember the friend.
Which friend?
There was the other woman.
The one that she was training with, like in the flashbacks?
No.
Or are you talking about the Asian girl?
The Asian girl.
I was friends with Hugo.
Yeah.
Okay.
She looks familiar. I guess it doesn't matter right now.
Oh. She's been in a handful
stuff,
of
right?
Yeah.
There she is. Yeah. Huh.
To
all the boys I've loved before. And she's Jubilee in Apocalypse.
That's right. Yeah, I was like, God damn it. Yeah.
I was thinking about that scene when they're talking about her being from Mars and that she was the enemy, and she goes, "Yeah, but that was like 300 years ago."
Yeah,
which I appreciated. Because again, that was all part of this spoon feeding moment of lore, But I just thought of that scene. I was like, wait, I do know her from something, and it's To All the Boys I Loved Before in Apocalypse. No, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was a fun ride.
Is Jubilee not in Dark Phoenix? Yeah,
never seen it.
I don't remember it. I was really drunk. I just remember it not being good too.
I mean, what are we at time-wise?
We're at like 50. So.
All right. We can wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Sure.
I mean, we want a sequel.
Fuck yeah. I think this would just be such a cool world.
I want to live more in this world. I really like this world.
And I really like Alita.
I do too. I think she's a really cool and interesting character. And Yeah.
I really like Alita.
I want to see Hugo come back as a fucking crazy person and try to kill Alita as well. How could you let me die? You know, he's...
Well, and even like now too, because of what 19, like as many years as it's been.
Oh yeah, what year was it supposed to take place?
2000
543.
2300 558.
2358.
I think so.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I'm right.
Actually, look it up real quick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I thought it was like 2,500.
2,563.
63. I was one number off. Damn. Yeah. I recommend it if you like.
If you like action sci-fi movies, this thing is dope. Alita is, and if you're looking for like female-led badass,
yes, 100%.
Like,
well, that's kind of what this block is, you know, from Furiosa.
But like Fifth Element style, like Lilu Dallas multipass shit, because she fucks like more than Lilu does. Actually,
oh yeah,
she ruins people's lives.
She kicks that girl's head off.
Yeah, her first fight. Yeah, she murks two people. Accidentally too.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Oh shit. Like, oh, all right. But yeah, this movie was really cool, and Alita is a really cool character. It would be really cool to get another one, but I was gonna say with all the years that have passed, you could even do something like jumping in the future, I guess, a few years. But I guess we don't know the story of the manga.
Manga?
What?
You said manga.
Manga, whatever. White man over here. Can I get the quesadilla? Quesadilla?
The Casadilla.
The Casadilla.
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
I because like it seems that the next like bit of it is for her to win the motor ball and become the final champion.
The high champion, yeah.
I don't think we can really skip that. I think we got to kind of continue.
You could. I mean, I guess there's also some motion.
Was the ending of the movie her going in? Like they were just talking about how she's like about to be.
I think that was the match.
That it is okay.
That's how I took it. She was going.
I couldn't remember just off the top of my head.
That's how I took it.
That's what it felt like to me too.
It's like it's the Super Bowl, and that's why he's watching, and there's the fireworks, and it's like, here we go.
I want to see Edward Norton be a weird bad guy.
I mean, I don't know why, but I go to Glass Onion. Him being like that.
I've never seen it, but
what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's funny in that. He's such a douche. What do you want to give it? 3.5?
I kind of want to give it a 4.
You do? You think it was Furiosa good?
No, but I kind of want to give it a 4 because it's just so fun.
You gotta plead your case, because we have to do the pro and con thing. Then I think a 3.5 because the writing is just not very good.
But it knows it lives in its identity so well.
Yeah, but still, but there are examples of movies doing that and being better. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But it's like I don't think it deserves a 3. I think it's almost there. If the writing was, and even then, with the trophy thing, even if the dialogue was just written better, then it would be a 4. But the dialogue, it's just not. I don't know. It's clunky and awkward.
Yeah, 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, and I like this is now like I love this movie. This is now in that genre of sci-fi stuff. This is in there now forever. This movie's sick. And if I will be very disappointed if we never get a sequel. I know it's what you said in development, but
I mean, I want one. I was excited when I was like as soon as the movie ended, I was like, there's got to be a fucking sequel or something in development somewhere.
I could see this being a franchise that I would just like, even if they got kind of worse and worse as they went, because I think we're also used to that happening.
Yeah,
I'd be like, that's fine because I just want the story to end. I want the conclusion. Yeah, and then I'll be happy with whatever the conclusion is.
Exactly. But yeah. I immediately looked up and I was just like, and I was like, okay, so they were unsure. Then a big thing, Rodriguez was like, well, if Boba Fett's a big hit, then I'll definitely make it, go into Alita. And then Boba Fett wasn't. I was like,
hate to break it to you.
And it's like reading this article isn't going the way I wanted to. But then you're reading that Cameron and Rodriguez both are saying that they're working on getting that it is in development right now. I was like, it's a promising thing, and it made me go, yes,
yeah,
all right, let's go. Hopefully by 2028. Excuse me.
Do you want to do Connect the Stars?
Oh yeah, let's do that thing.
How do you feel about Nicole Kidman to Viola Davis?
I think I like it.
Okay. So if you all think of a good connection, go ahead and put it in our comments. But yes, that will be Nicole Kidman to Viola Davis. And we will do ours. I'll do mine about 5 minutes before we start recording, as per usual.
Yes, because you're a procrastinator. And we don't officially know what we're doing next week just yet. We've discussed some ideas, but we'll figure out what it is.
Yeah, in the next couple days.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Maybe we do that movie. Should we do Stay Tuned and
I don't know what that is.
Oh.
I've been wanting to do Be Kind Rewind. I don't know why that made me think of that. Something clicked.
John Ritter, that's his name. Anywho, stay tuned. Maybe we'll see. What
the fuck is Stay Tuned?
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
Off
This is
air.
Tommy.
This is Jake.
This is
Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Me.